Got it. Okay. And in addition to that, I think we know that there's a cycle. We know that's how life is, and the days are getting shorter. That means that the nights are longer, there's less daylight hours, and there's less of that melatonin. There are less of those things that make us happy and just inherently make us happy. So we're dealing with winter as in it's getting colder. I don't know about you, but I'm getting chillier in the evening, not during the day. It's nice and warm still, but it's getting chillier, and it's sort of like I can get into the shower and the heat can warm my bones up still, as opposed to in the summer, I get into the shower and I'm really happy to have a cold shower. So, you know, it's like that warmth that we have now that we want to feel from the outside. So we're going to learn today about how to warm ourselves from the inside, not only emotionally to cope with those winter blues, but in addition, Sigy's going to give us tips of how actually through our nutrition, through what we eat and what we put inside, we're going to be able to heat our body temperature. And of course, often, usually actually, when we are getting dressed up for winter, we're going to put on another layer and another layer. And what happens? We start to feel bulky, and we want to, if we're going to be bulky, we want to look good and bulky. And if we're going to be curvy, we want to look good and curvy, you know. And Tsippy has a very interesting story to tell us, more than just about fashion and how to dress. It's a lot more than that. So I think it's going to be really fascinating. And I'd like Sigy, if you can take it away for us, begin. Sigy's actually, just before she starts, I want to tell you, Sigy was a nutritionist for 15 years, okay? And she has numerous different hats. And I'm going to ask Sigy to share with us about her latest hat in GEMS, okay, the Jewish Sisterhood, and some incredible things that she's done there. But you see, when you just look at Sigy, you can see that nutrition is her way of life, Bli Ayin Hara. And we're going to get some of those tips from Sigy, and look what she's prepared for us. Wow, I feel like I want to go over there for dinner. Maybe it's lunch by you, but I would love to come, but it's just a little bit far away because Sigy's sitting all the way in Montreal, and she's run away from us now. Okay, I've scared her off with my words.
No, I just had to unmute myself. I wasn't sure if you were going to unmute me or if I was going to do it. So while you were talking, I said, I'll just go ahead and do it myself.
Sounds good.
So hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Very excited to be here. This is a super topic. Thank you, Gila. Awesome. As we prepare, we're looking outside, and here in Montreal, Canada, there's a change in the foliage. We have some yellows and orange and reds coming out. It's magnificent. Really, really beautiful. So I went out this morning to get fresh produce to show you ladies what we're supposed to do in the winter. So everything that Gila said is absolutely right, that as the seasons change, so should our diet. So a very good way, a holistic way of eating and staying healthy is eating according to the seasons. Now, of course, we each have our individual sensitivities, but we're going to talk about how to prepare foods. If there's anything that I mentioned that you're not allowed to eat due to allergies, please stick to your regimen and also speak to your doctor before starting any new foods that you're going to take regularly. Okay? So what we are considering is when the winter months come, we need to keep the body hotter, warmer, because if we're going to drink cold drinks or put ice in our drinks, or we're going to eat foods that produce a cold feeling in our body, then we're not going to manage through the winter, even with layers. So there are specific foods that are more warming. There's 5 categories, and we're going to start with root vegetables. So this makes a lot of sense because, you know, when you bake a potato, when you bake pumpkin, it's like this warm, good feeling inside. It's because they produce heat in our body, and that's why it's good to have them. And so this would be for all the roots. So that's sweet potato, pumpkins, and then of course your more pungent foods such as leeks, and garlic, which are very warming. You know that because sometimes when you eat it, it's like strong. So that's what it does. It produces a very nice heat in your body. It's also important to realize that when we add foods that have a higher content of fats and proteins and even carbs, because they are more difficult to digest, they take more energy for us to digest them, thereby they produce greater heat. So for a moment, I'm going to move away from the categories and I'm just going to talk about the morning routine. I find that this is very important. It's important to start with water. You know how the animals come to the water hole? Everybody meets there and has their drink of water. We forget. Some people run for their coffees or their teas. Don't do that to yourself. Start with a lot of water. Try to drink about 1 liter of water in the morning. If you can't drink that much liquid so much, a good way to add water is always to take fresh lemon and squeeze it in. So don't you buy any of those concentrated lemon things in a bottle, because it's not all natural and it will not give you the same effect. So in the winter time, you might want the water to be a little warmer. So you'll boil some water, put half of it boiling water, half of it room temperature, tap temperature, and then you'll add your lemon. Another thing to add to the water, which is amazing and it's good for your overall health, it's detoxifying and it's warming, is to take ginger. So to take fresh ginger root and to juice it, so squeeze it through a juicer. We were talking about that the other day with Gila and Tsippy. If you can't, you could just take it and grate it like you would in a garlic grate, for instance. This would increase the amount of heat your body will produce, and it's very good for you. Another thing you may want to add is turmeric root. Turmeric root is very high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. This is very important because today as a society, we are suffering from inflammatory diseases. So including what I just said in your mixture in the morning would be an awesome way to kickstart your day. Okay, then you can have your hot beverage. So if you're going to drink coffee, I suggest that you drink organic coffee. Do not put more toxins and mold into your body, which is what you find in your average coffee. And it doesn't matter if you buy very expensive coffee, if it's not organic, it will have toxins and molds, and you don't need that. It's very bad for your health. Another thing that we could drink is hot teas. So there's a lot of different teas. Okay, so a good question came up. Which organic tea do I suggest? And I want to say that it was very hard to find good organic coffees that are as well kosher. So I found out recently that if it's pure coffee and has nothing else in it, then you can buy it even if it doesn't have a kosher sign on it. So different countries will have different name brands available for you in the organic coffee. You can message me privately later if you want more details. So for the teas, a good chai tea, because in the chai tea, there are different herbs, and these herbs are what create a heat and warming feeling in the body. So now and of course, green tea is very good for you, also a huge antioxidant. And they say that it's also anti-cancerous. So really what I'm trying to show you is a whole good way of eating to benefit your coffee. Yes, you can also have decaffeinated coffee. They also come in organic forms. Just note that green tea and decaffeinated coffee still have caffeine. So if you're for any reason sensitive to caffeine, if it makes you hyper, then you want to steer away from those two, even decaffeinated coffee and green tea. They have contents of caffeine. Okay, I just want to add one more thing for a morning routine. Some people might be like on a rush, so they won't have time to have oatmeals, like a hot cereal, or eggs or toast, or they simply choose not to eat so heavily first thing in the morning. So you may want to make what is called a bulletproof coffee. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Dave Asprey, he popularized that. The bulletproof coffee includes organic coffee and MCT oil. This is coconut oil. And what it does is you blend it up. He includes butter as well. So you notice there's a lot of fat in this. And what it does is it produces a heating effect in the body, and it revs up your digestive system. So you actually lose weight when you drink this. What I like to do is, because I'm not always interested in losing weight, I like to include in my hot coffee with my MCT oil protein. So choose a quality of protein that you can get in your country. I love the Arbonne line. It's super clean. This one is a pea protein shake. I order the vanilla one because I don't want added flavors. If I wanted added flavors, I'll just add the flavor that I want in it. It tastes divine in my coffee, and I am satiated, no exaggeration, for 4 hours. You will put anything in front of me and it's just, I'm not hungry. And this is incredible. So, so we got breakfast out of the way. I'll send some through Gila, some wonderful recipes for the oatmeal and hot cereals. And now I'm going to move towards the lunch and the dinner. So it's very important to eat. Yes, so the Arbonne protein is kosher, okay? And it, okay, so not pea-based. I'll send that out later. I have a lot of selections for that. Okay, there's rice protein powders that are very good. They're not as tasty as this one because I've tried them all. But if you have a sensitivity to pea or you're allergic, and we'll work on that. Okay, so now let's go towards lunch and dinner. Very important to eat a big green salad. But now, when we eat roughage during the winter months, it produces a cooling effect in the body. So how do we balance that? We make a very good dressing that will include avocado, could be tahina, and in there we would add pungent herbs. So I like to add turmeric. I'll put turmeric in my salad dressing. I'll put black pepper in the salad dressing, apple cider vinegar, honey or maple syrup, and did I forget anything? Garlic powder. And I blend it in my small blender, and I'll put it in jars, and I'll put it in the fridge. This changes the way the body receives the roughage of the salad. So that's very important to note. And now we'll go into what are good things to cook during the winter months. So absolutely amazing are stews. And it's very important to include peas or lentils in your soup, because if you notice, the foods that we're adding take a little longer to digest. So they produce the heat that we're looking for in the body. So I have an outstanding recipe for lentil soup, which we are going to send to you. And it's a 1-pot lentil soup, absolutely delicious. Takes 10 minutes to prepare, 30 minutes to cook, and you can feed your whole family, and it's divine. Another thing that's very good is to use ramekins and to layer cooked beans, so you don't have to work so hard. You get canned beans. I like to buy organic. You get whatever you can find in your country, and you layer them. So you would put in your ramekin some of the, first of all, you start with extra virgin olive oil. If you wish, you could take your onions and saute them first, and then add them as a bottom layer. You'll add diced carrots, celery, garlic. You'll mince some fresh rosemary. You'll have a little bit of tomato sauce, a little bit of tomato paste. You'll cut some zucchinis. You'll add your choice of canned beans, and salt and pepper to taste. We need a little bit of flour. You could choose gluten-free flour if you need, and just vegetable stock. And after you bake this, it's like a pot pie, and it's so delicious and hot and warm coming out of the oven. It's outstanding. So the last thing I want to say is a good dessert for winter is apples and cranberries. And you notice that that's what's in season right now. So we're always thinking like farmers. So if you can get connected to your local farmer and buy the farmer's basket, you're always going to have the foods that are in season. When you prepare those and cook those, you're going to keep your body nice and warm. So there's so much more I can say, but I must leave time for my other two wonderful presenters. And if you have any questions, you could reach me at Sigy Laredo, that's SIGYLAREDO, @me.com. And I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And my second hat, which Gila permits me to use right now, is I recently created a beautiful Jewish women's agenda. And in the agenda, there are some recipes, but most importantly, thanks Bernice, and I know that Holly has it as well, most importantly, it's how we upgrade our Jewish living. And so we satisfy taking care of our bodies, staying in health, but being mindful that we're Jewish women first, and we're here on a life's mission, and we want to make God proud of us every step of the way. So I thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Oh, wow, Sigy, that was amazing. Thank you for all of that. Tons of information there. Okay, that was brilliant. And we're going to send out the recipes afterwards. So I can't wait to make that that one like shepherd's pie type of thing.
It's delicious. It's absolutely amazing.
It sounds so wholesome, and I'm vegetarian, so it just like is up my alley with lots of
great. Same here. Vegetarian. So Gila, can you mute me and then we'll go on? Just mute me from there.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, okay, so now, Tsippy, you're going to take the floor and share with us a little bit about yourself, because I think it's a really interesting and it's an important story, way beyond just the way we present, just the way we look. There's a lot more there. So, Tsippy, I turn over to you.
Thank you, Gila. First of all, thank you, Bichlal, for including me in this wonderful panel. And it's lovely to see how many women are on here. Amazing. Thank you all for joining. My name is Sippy Goldstein. I live in Efrat in Gush Etzion, and I am a professional stylist. I love style and fashion, and I really, really love making women feel good about themselves. The truth is that until about 3 years ago, I was a bookkeeper. I sat at a desk and I crunched numbers, and then I realized how much I really have to give. So to make a long story short, I started hosting different types of sales in my house, and then I had a bunch of fairs, and I really found that I love helping women find exactly what they're looking for. Then Corona hit, and besides that, all the fairs and everything couldn't happen, I also unfortunately went into depression and suffered from major anxiety. And I was at a point where I didn't get out of bed for about 2 weeks. But Baruch Hashem, thanks to my amazing support system, I was able to get the help I needed and was able to recover. And during that time, as I was recovering, an opportunity came about for me to study styling. And as someone who loves fashion and everything else, I decided to take it. So during that journey, I actually also created a community. I have a WhatsApp group and a Facebook group where I share different styling tips and different ideas, and just, give inspiration. So feel free to join those groups afterwards. And then when the second lockdown in Corona happened, I really decided that in order to prevent myself from going back into that anxiety and depression area, I turned to my community and I decided to do a lockdown style challenge. which meant that every day, even when I had nowhere to go, I got up, I got dressed, and I put on makeup or jewelry or whatever it was, almost to the point where I have 4 boys. As someone who loves fashion and style, and I have 4 boys, it's, you know, but they notice and they said, Ima, where are you going? And I said, absolutely nowhere. So I would get dressed and take pictures every day, and I started posting them on different social media platforms. And the feedback I got was like amazing. I had some women who came to me and said, well, if you can get dressed, then I can get dressed too. And it really made a difference to some of them, even those who just literally wanted to get from their bed to the refrigerator, but they got dressed. And another woman who actually turned to me and said, I think I'm also suffering from anxiety. Do you have someone who I can speak to? So I was able to also give her some names, and just, I felt like I was doing a shlichut, and I still feel like I'm doing a shlichut. And the truth is that nowadays, what I'm really trying to focus on is us curvy ladies. I'm not small myself, and I really feel like we can all look good no matter what size we are. And it's all about embracing our curves and finding what looks good on us, just the way we are. So tonight I am very excited, and I prepared a little slideshow that, if Gila, I can have you share screen. I want to show and give you a bunch of different tips on how to dress warmly and stay stylish. So I'm ready when you are.
Your co-host, you should be able to do it.
Okay, let me see 1 second. Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, here we go. Share screen.
Perfect.
Host disabled.
No. Sorry, guys, you know, there always has to be some sort of technical something or other, I guess. Sorry, I don't know how I did that. Okay, you're backing the co-hosting.
You? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, here we go.
You can see.
Okay. You see? Everybody sees?
We've got it. Beautiful.
Perfect. Okay, so we are going on to learn about winter wardrobe tips. How to look stylish and stay warm. I use some of my pictures to show you that I do stand by what I say, but also some of the pictures are taken from other places as well, since I didn't have a chance yet to get fully dressed this winter. So, okay. So
Sigy I have to say one thing, though. I do. Sorry to interrupt. One of the greatest and most important things, it doesn't matter what, is that smile. You know, Tsippy, when you come onto your pictures with your fabulous smile there, it doesn't, you know, it makes a huge difference to all of your carriage and to everything else. And, you know, we looked at that picture, it's like, yochen, and I think that that's an important thing, so we can dress well but keep that smile on, and then you can go so far.
Thank you. The truth is that a lot of what I do also is I post all kinds of different inspirational posts, and one of the things is about smiling is that the best thing you could wear is a smile. So I totally agree with what you just said. Okay, so as you said, back to Tachlis, the first tip Sigy had mentioned about layering in the winter. So I want to suggest that layering is important and good, but you have to make sure that your basic bottom layer is thin, but still warm. So the good things to use for that are thermal undershirts, or as Sigy told me yesterday that she really learned and realizes that is true, is a merino wool top. So there you go for that. Okay, tip number 2, leggings. I live in leggings all winter long. And what's nice is that if you wear them under like a maxi skirt or a maxi dress, you can also wear material that isn't necessarily so warm and wintry, but because you have that extra layer on the bottom, you can you're still warm enough. So you can really utilize your summer wardrobe even in the winter. Okay, and then of course we have sweaters, which many times can make us look bulky. So 2 tips that I actually found that I haven't tried myself yet, but I'm looking forward to doing them this winter, is if you're wearing a bulky sweater to stay warm, but you can roll up your sleeves a little bit, and then the bulk goes up, but you can still see your arms, which show what your body is and shows your body. So it's you're actually showing off your figure, but you're still looking very chic. So that's number 1 about a sweater. Number 2 is if your sweater is too long and it's annoying and you want to just have a little bit of a different look, you can tuck it in to your pants, your skirt, or and wear with a belt. And then it keeps you warm because you're still wearing the sweater, but you also have a stylish look. And tip number 4 is scarves and hats, which work when we cover our hair. It's even better because I love all the different winter hats and beanies that go over your ears. And besides that, they keep you warm, they make you look extra stylish. And it's a really good way to add color, to the darker. Usually our winter wardrobe tends to be darker, even though it does not have to be. But if you want to add fun and bright colors, then this is a very good way to do it, with scarves. And these 2 scarves over here, I actually, last year I was doing some research and someone was looking for a way to make a neckline a little more closed. And I started looking at different options and I came about this brand. Her name is Adi Bakshi. She's here in Israel. And she has these really cool, fashionable, like wraparound scarves, but they're not a full scarf. It's like it has a button that you close. So I took a few of her recent, I went on her website and took a few of her recent items for sale, and I just chose the 2 that spoke out to me the most. Of course, they're pink, so so that's my suggestion here. So those are the 4 basic tips I have, and now I would like to talk to you a little bit about the colors of the color wheel. So there are 3 different ways to combine colors in styling and fashion. And I want to introduce you to the 3 of them. So the first one is complementary colors. When you wear colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. And here I have examples from myself because I love colors and I love to come up with new ideas all the time. So as you see over here, I kept the outfit very, very basic, but I went with a pink scarf, and my necklace here has a few pink and yellow, which if you see on the color wheel are opposite of each other. So that's number 1. And number 2 are the analogs, which are colors next to each other on the color wheel. So here, it's funny, when I remember taking this picture and I got dressed and I was like, okay, pink and purple and blue looked good together. Little did I know that it was actually, this was before I even learned this part of the styling. And little did I know that they actually go next to each other on the color. And that's one of the ways to mix and match colors. So I guess chivanti ledat gdolim. So that's another option. And the third option is the primary colors, which are the red, yellow, and blue, which I think I did pretty well over here with this dress, who is actually also the dress that I'm wearing in this picture is from a designer who specializes in plus sizes. She's also here in Israel, and she designs specifically for bigger women. And part of what I love about what I do is, besides for helping the client, I also love collaborating with small business owners and introducing their collections, etc., to all you lovely ladies. So that is it in a nutshell, and I hope that you enjoy, and I can't wait to see you using your tips. And Zehu, thank you.
Okay, Tsippy, let me just ask you a question. Okay, you mentioned all the colors and you mentioned all of this. How do we, like if we're not so slim, how do we, what is a tip that you would give somebody to say, you know what, it's okay, we're not all perfect, or how do we do that? Is there something you recommend?
So there's also, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you're skinny or if you're bigger. It's really not. There's plenty of women that I know who colors kind of, you know, scare them and are not ready to embrace wearing purple or blue or pink as basic part of their wardrobe. So I suggest is to start slow. Is, for example, just like I was wearing in this picture, you know, you keep it basic, that like the way you like to wear, the black or the darker colors, which you feel do what you want them to do at this point for your body. And then you can highlight different parts that you do feel comfortable with the color. So if you feel that you want to show off your, you know, your face, you can also do with also makeup is a very good point in this part too. You can use color in makeup, you know, in eyeshadow or lipstick, etc. And then on your head or in necklaces and earrings and that kind of stuff. That's my tip to slowly easing into the color wheel. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can unshare.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
There we go.
Okay, terrific. This is so strange. Okay. Sorry. Maybe. Okay, that's better for me. Okay, so now I want to discuss, first of all, I wrote in the absolutely wonderful Tsippy. Thank you. We've come home, we've come out of here with some like really solid thoughts on presenting ourselves and being just that much better, you know.
I do want to add one more thing, as we talked about last night, if it's okay if I should add it now or later, you tell me. But you had mentioned about staying warm literally inside your heart and how inside your body. And partially, besides, I tend to get winter depression a little bit. And when the weather does get gloomy and rainy and cold and there's not so much sun, I find sometimes it's hard to get up and get dressed. But I feel like just like I did that lockdown style and got out of bed every morning and got dressed, even in the winter, find something that you love to wear and just put that on and it will change your mood 100%. So
yes, yes. If there's something that we're looking forward to getting dressed in, and whether it's the jewelry or the belt or the t-shirt or the I don't know what, it really makes a big difference to like, oh, wow, I'm springing out of bed for that. You know, that's so great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Actually, there is a seasonal affective disorder, SAD. It's actually known that people become, let's call it sad, as we have less light during the day. So, and that comes from perhaps having less light during the day. Our biological clocks are changing, less serotonin in the brain, all different things that are affecting our moods and making us feel cold and miserable inside. So I want to address, first of all, cold, just feeling cold, before I go on to the emotional aspect. And the cold bit, I put them right here, is these two stones. These are called hematite. These shiny little crystals are hematite, and they're great for our blood circulation. So if you take a couple of hematite stones and you stick them with medical tape to the inside of your ankles, they're going to warm your feet up, get your blood circulating, and you're going to feel a lot better. I put somewhere on my desk, here it is, a piece of rough hematite. I wanted to show that to you, just so you can see what it looks like in its rough form. And on the inside, if you look at the inside of this, it's red. It's actually like an orangey color because of the iron in this stone. So this is really good to warm us up and to keep us alert. Okay, so that's the hematite, just on the physical side. All right. Now, I want to go on to the let's warm our emotions up, because we want to try and protect us. We really want to stay happy as we can. So we want as many, shall we say, happy stones as possible. I tried to work out, there are lots of different crystals that help us out. I'm assuming that everybody knows me, but that's actually not correct. So I think I'm going to go backwards for a second and introduce myself, okay? And then I'm going to keep on moving. So I'm Gila Slonim. I live in the beautiful hills of the Shomron in Israel, and I'm really blessed with that. And I thank God every day for my beautiful environment and everybody that I have around me, and the many opportunities I have. Like, wow, look at us, all of us, all over the world. And we're here, we're meeting today on Zoom, and you know, we have so many good friends all over the world. It's an amazing thing. I'm actually a social worker, but I've moved into the world of crystals. And what I do with my crystals is I help people, I heal them. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounded crazy to me at the beginning too, because people are attracted to crystals that are good for them. And there are loads of different crystals out there, and you're attracted to what's good for you, and then you could actually be treated by it. So what I'm going to do for you today is just explain a few of the crystals that are relevant right now. But I do healing assessment and lectures and courses and so many things with these. I call them Trufot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God's medications, because they are really godly. Hashem has given them to us, and I go through in my webinars, etc., which I'll tell you about later. I explain the connection, because we've got to know that it's Jewish. Before we can start working with crystals or anything else, we've got to know that it's kosher. I call it kosher in inverted commas, or you know, that we can use them, that it's all good. Okay, so that's my intro. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to some crystals that are going to make us warm and feel good. Now, first, in the crystal discipline and many others, we have what's called energy centers, or in the lingo, it's called chakras or chakras. Those are our different energy centers. We have 7 energy centers. And when all of our energy centers are functioning well, then we have energy moving in and out of our body. We're moving well, emotionally and physically. So our energy centers are our root, which is the lower section of our body, the navel area, the solar plexus, the heart, okay, the throat for communication, all right, the third eye, which is spirituality, and our crown, which is our brain, our mind. Okay, that's like not even in a nutshell, in less than a nutshell. But I decided to take all of our energy centers. I wanted to say, let's balance them all. So I know when I said about feeling happy, literally I said, where do I feel happy or not happy? Okay, that's in my heart. I literally felt it in my heart. But beyond that, I said, but you know what? If I'm not happy in my mind, that's going to affect my heart. If I'm not happy because of something that's gone on and that's bothering me or different things, it's going to affect me. So what I wanted to do was put together crystals from each of the different energy centers, okay, in order to bring that happiness out for us. So I'm going to start with what we call the crown. And the first crystal I want to show you here, I actually did a little presentation as well, which is very unusual for me. Here, it's the wrong one. Oh no, and with my, sorry ladies. This is, let's take 2. If it doesn't work, then it's going to be bad luck, isn't it? Run away. We're not doing a presentation, okay? So, okay, not meant to be, not meant to be. So the first I want to tell you about is this pyrite. Can you see the pyrite? It's gold. It's called fool's gold. And this is known as a happiness stone. It actually brings us happiness and joy. So it's going to be a great stone for us, okay? It's great anytime. I have them around because I love them. I always want more happiness, but it gives us harmony with our environment and lots of great things, and it's really lovely. So that was one. Then I have the Smoky Quartz, which is a smoky color, a quartz. It's just a clear stone, but it's got a smoky look through it. And this is a cleansing stone, because when we have thoughts in our mind that are negative, then that's going to affect our mood, obviously. So we want to cleanse those thoughts and stop the negative thoughts there. So smoky quartzes come in lighter and darker colors. So for this purpose of keeping us that much happier in our mind, I want you to take a lighter colored smoky quartz. Then I'm going to move on to one of my all-time favorites, which is the amethyst. Okay, amethyst is purple. Amethyst is right here. You know, when I went to buy these earrings, they didn't have amethysts on them. They had these other stones. I said to the guy in the shop, oh no, I can't do that. Could you please change it for these amethyst stones? And so now I can wear them and love them all the time. And amethyst is a stone which helps us from feeling sad. It's a stone that is also very good for us when we're going through a period of grief or sadness, okay? And sometimes we need to accept our situation. So that's very good. And it gives us calm as well, okay? We don't want to be all tense and stressed out. We want to be calm and easy and go with the flow. So that's going to be, an amethyst is real. Siggy's gorgeous necklace. I love it. Okay, so that's going to be really terrific for us. Now, another stone which I am very fond of and is really helpful for us is the lepidolite. The lepidolite is also a purple stone. Okay, it's a matte, it's a purple and it's matte. It is very good for our mood swings. Okay, we have ups and downs. Most of us have ups and downs in life, and this actually has lithium in it, and it's going to just keep us more balanced. It calms the nervous system for us and releases stress and pressure. Okay, it's also good for tiredness. And in the winter, I think we're feeling that much more tired, because also our body is working very hard to keep us warm. It requires more energy to keep us warm, the metabolism and all of that sort of stuff. So the lepidolite is going to be good for that as well. Another one of my all-time favorites is going to be this agate blue lace. This is in rough. We have them in smooth as well. And this is also something that is going to help us with our ups and downs, keep us buoyant and keep us happy, okay? Keep us, as we say, emotionally balanced. So you'll see that I'm showing you stones that are from different colors, because each of those energy centers are represented by different colors. Many of you will have heard of the sapphire, or it's a sapphire in Hebrew, and it's from the Avnei HaChoshen, okay, which is Shevet Yisachar, just by the by, of the Avnei HaChoshen, worn by the Kohen Gadol. It's the sapphire or the sapphire. The sapphire, among many other things, I'm just relating to the happiness side of the crystals now, helps us when we're feeling really down. It's going to help us to pull us out of it. So that's amazing. That's a wonderful stone for that. I want to move on now to the green and green, which one stone is Peridot. I don't have one handy, but the Peridot is also a green stone, like an olive green, but translucent, light, pretty color. It is also known as a stone of hope and gives us optimism, which is very important. I want to know that it's going to be okay. It will be okay. And I know it's going to be okay. So I can be okay and I can smile, because even if right now I'm feeling less good, if I know that it's going to be okay and I can try and remain optimistic, you know, I'm going to be able to cope with that little down as well, because I know it's just short term. Okay. No, these are not all crown chakra. The crown chakra is the gold and the clearer colors. Okay. We're down. The green one is at the heart chakra. Okay. Now, I'm not going to relate to the questions particularly now, maybe at the end if we have time, because it's like I'm racing through, want to get through. I want to go now to the green Aventarine. Green Aventarine is like an all-time winner. Okay, green being the heart chakra. It's an all-time winner because it's a stone that is good for everybody. Not every stone is good for everybody. So if you say to me, Gila, I'm feeling really down, but that sapphire, I don't like it at all. You know what? You don't like it, then you don't use it. It's not going to necessarily be good for you. And aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky that we have so many different crystals, okay, to choose from? So that green Aventarine is going to help us to go with the flow. So we want to go with the flow, and if we've got something as well tucked inside of us that's bringing us down, it's going to help us address that item, that thing, that feeling inside of our heart that's making us feel less good, and help us to move on. And so, okay, that moving on. Okay, so I felt not so crash hot yesterday. I can turn the page, start afresh, and it's a great stone for discovery. I want to discover different things, understand what's going on. It's great. That's the green Aventarine. And that really actually is probably one of the very few stones that's really good for everybody. Okay, then I want to talk to you about the amber. Amber, okay, which isn't a classic crystal because it's actually from the sap of a tree, the resin of the tree, but it's a very gentle stone which absorbs pain. If we have pain physically and emotionally, okay, it gently absorbs it. We have other stones which absorb physical and emotional pain, but not gently. So if it's whisked out of you, that is not so simple. So amber is gentle, it's kind, it'll help us with that pain, that sorrow, and it'll bring us happiness. It's really a happy stone as well. And then I have the orange agate, which I don't have here right now with me, but the orange agate is also, I'm sorry, no, just looking to see if it's out my tray there, but I don't want to run up and get it. Okay, the orange agate is a stone that gives us what we call in Hebrew simchat chayim. It gives us happiness. So that's very good for us, and it helps us in our relationships with people. So that's another issue that's obviously going to bring us down, not specifically related to winter, but we always want to improve all of those relationships. Okay, and the last stone I want to mention is called the Jasper Dalmatian. The Jasper Dalmatian exactly looks like a Dalmatian. I had such a fabulous picture. I'm really sorry about that presentation. I owe you one, guys. It's a creamy colored stone, a sandy colored stone with black dots on it, just like a Dalmatian. And it is really good for our happiness and to make us feel good. It just gives us that good feeling. And if we're feeling down in the dumps and you're coping with some sort of sorrow, some sort of a difficulty, so that Jasper Dalmatian is going to help us. And it's also going to help us to come to grips with certain things like, why am I feeling angry now? It'll help us ask that question. You know what? Not worth being angry over, whatever it may be. And it'll help you move into that happiness mode. So that's our Jasper Dalmatian. So in a nutshell, trying to keep within our time, okay, I've given you lots of different crystals that I wanted to share with you. And now I want to ask Sigy and Tsippy to both unmute themselves because they have special offers for you, and I have a special offer for you tonight, and you'll get some of the answers to your questions in my special offer, okay? And don't forget, we've got our raffle here. So, okay, Sippy, do you want to tell us about your special offers, please?
Sure. So I am offering 10% off of any of my services to any of you lovely ladies that are joining us tonight, that have joined us tonight. Part of what I do, I have 3 different services that I offer. One of them is a consultation where we talk and we figure out what your body shape is and what the best way for you to dress is in order to flatter you the most. So that's approximately an hour consultation. And then I have a closet consultation, which at this point, it's a little hard for me to do on Zoom, but I'm sure we can figure it out if necessary, where we go through your closet and we get rid of stuff that is no longer good for you. And we take what you have and create new and fun looks out of what will make you look good. And the third thing is a shopping spree where we go and raid the malls and town and find the perfect looks for you. So all of these services, I'm offering 10% off to any of you lovely ladies.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, ladies, take advantage. Believe me, Tsippy knows what she's on about, okay, as we all can see. Sigy, what are you offering us, our special ladies?
Yes, so for now, for all the wonderful women who came on today, I'm offering 10% off of my new agenda, which is really uplifting, inspiring, useful, and you will not regret. You'll never be able to use another agenda after that. So in the chat, I will put the link and the code for the special discount. And of course, it'll also be sent through the mail that Gila's going to send everybody with the recipes.
Absolutely. With Tsippy's, we're going to get Tsippy's color wheel, and you're going to get recipes, and you're going to get links and phone numbers and lots of good stuff out there. Okay. So what I would like to offer you is as follows. First of all, anybody who's interested in an assessment, and I didn't even explain properly what the assessment is, but it's getting a deeper look at somebody through the use of crystals. It gives you a holistic look and an understanding of what's going on for somebody. It's unbelievable. It's like it's sort of like an X-ray through the crystals. And then I also want to just tell you that if anybody's interested in studying more about crystals, I've got a course starting on Sunday. So you can sort of just like still get in, because I've got stones going out tomorrow. My last set of crystals are going out, being sent by courier. So if anybody wants to get in there, you could still do that. And the thing that I decided to do today was to do what I'm going to call an impromptu webinar. What does that mean? It means that it's really impromptu. It's just for you ladies here, because I'm not going to go and spend all that time and effort and market it out. I want all the questions that you had tonight that I couldn't answer. I'm happy to answer them tomorrow night on the webinar. Okay. And it's really 30 shekel, less than $10. Okay. To participate. And it's going to be really, obviously, I'll go through Jewish sources because I can't do anything without going through a little bit of the Jewish side. And then we're just going to have like really fun. It's going to be just a fun, as we say in Hebrew, zorem, going with the flow type of thing. Okay, so those are our wonderful offers. And I am going to ask you, Sigy, okay, if you can, have I lost you, Sigy?
No, I'm still here, just trying to put in the
Could you please choose a number between 1 and 28? Okay.
Easy. 11.
11. Noni. Noni, are you here? Yes, Noni's here. Okay. Can you give us a sign of life, because you've just won the raffle for a set of crystals, and you can tell me if you prefer to have a set of crystals that are going to help you feel warm, or you prefer to have a set of crystals to for the happiness side. You tell me and I will post them out to you. Okay. So yes.
Okay, did you call me?
I did. You won the raffle.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I never win raffles. So that's very exciting.
Today's your lucky day.
You know what? I want to tell you something, that whenever I do a raffle here, that whoever it is that wins says, oh my gosh, I never win a raffle. You go look at all the tapes and you'll see that. So this is for all of you people. Anyway, so Noni, you've won it. So we'll be in touch. Address,
Okay.
and then I can post it out.
You have to come on. I have to say something that I spoke about my very special support system, and this lovely lady Noni is my mother, and she is part of where my support system came from that helped me recover. So
lots of nuts. What an amazing daughter you have, Noni.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we are nuts about her. She's amazing.
Oh, wow.
She's truly an inspiration, and she has done something to make her feel better, and by doing so, she's making so many other people feel better. And I'm proud of her, and I think this whole Zoom evening was very, very lovely, and I really learned a lot, and I'm really excited that I won a raffle.
Terrific, lovely, lovely. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Okay, and I really join me for the impromptu webinar. We're just going to have fun. Okay, it's not such a serious one as always. So if you want to come, I'll send you the links. We'll send everything, and I'm going to send you all the recordings. So Lehitra Odd, thanks for joining. Bye
for
everybody.
now. See you
Bye.
then.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay warm and happy.